Okay. Things worked out in ways that you don't expect. Sometimes you have hope that things will go well, but you give up too soon. Just when things are going to go well. Because I almost did not even try today. Um, so for everybody, hopefully there are new people joining, and those that are not new, thank you for taking the time, and everyone for taking the time to join me. So welcome to a special agenda. Soon I'll have more to say in sign language. I'm working on it. I learned a long time ago, but did not retain it because I did not use it. And it happens with a lot of things in life. And tonight we'll be discussing something that today, today, I personally was struggling with some things that were going on. Most people that know me know that we, my husband and our village, our family, are raising children that have some issues developmentally. And for my daughter, I'm sorry, guys, we are, she has autism, and she struggles with a few other things that we deal with. Oh, 1 second, I'm trying to keep this from shutting down. Oh no, 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 no. Okay. Okay. Sorry, guys. And that's that. Okay. But today was a little rough for her and for myself. I have to remind myself regularly that it is not her that's the issue, and that periodically her difficult time will kind of roll downhill as things do occasionally. And it is not always easy to compartmentalize that. As a lot of parents who are raising special needs children or have the privilege of raising or caring for their sibling, other family members, it may be your job to do that. Because that's what some people's field of expertise is. That is their career path. That is their gift and their blessing. And I say gift and blessing because for those who are doing it, they are a gift to others who have the need of placing their loved ones in their care. And for them, sometimes they have hard days, the teachers that are caring for our loved ones, our children, our siblings. Um, if they're in day programs or other mental health programs, or if they go to a psychiatrist or a psychologist, therapist, they have rough days also because everyone's dealing with something to some degree. However, that being said, today it got a little rough and decisions had to be made as far as what needed to be done for the care of our children. And often, as a parent who is a human and a part of the human race, we often, and in myself in particular, have fears, concerns, and sometimes we let that control us and determine whether or not we're going to do what is necessary because we are concerned about not just our personal feelings being put in the spotlight, but the possibility that this may not go well, or that others may fail us based on the decision we made to put our loved one in their care. And letting that fear govern our entire life sometimes causes us to miss out on opportunities to make the necessary choices that our loved ones need, sometimes we put them in bondage and ourselves. We don't get the help that we need to make because we have imprisoned ourselves with our own things in our head, conversations that we're having. That a large part of it may in fact be true, but we cannot let that prevent us from continuing to trudge on. There are people who are afraid of taking medication or seeking treatment for other health issues because of their distrust of the medical community. And I won't say that there isn't reason in some cases to be distrustful because of past experiences that have been negative. But that doesn't mean that all your experiences will be negative. There are people who are not married today because they won't reach out for a relationship because they have special needs children or they have children and they're afraid that they'll get someone who's bad or someone who will harm their child or won't accept their child. But by doing that, they're also preventing their child from having, and themselves from having a larger life, from having the life that they deserve, from having someone else that loves that family member, that child, themselves. I had to make a decision about seeking assistance for my daughter. And I'd had a couple of negative experiences in the past with different therapists, um, people who want to not take the time to investigate further to make sure they're not they're giving them the proper diagnosis and that the treatment is not worse than um, the problem that they're already enduring. There are some medications that do have side effects. That is a given fact. But to have someone not have any medication at all and let them be tortured because of your personal fear is not kind. It is not loving. Because are you worried about them or are you worried about you? Are you putting them in a life sentence where they can't be happy because of their imbalance and that you'll shut them out because you can't deal with it? But the conundrum is you've also decided not to treat the problem that needs to get them the help that they need and the balance that they need so that you aren't overwhelmed and you can interact with them and you can give them the attention that they need. You can't complain about something that's wrong if you won't go out on a limb to fix the problem so that it won't be wrong anymore, so that it won't be something that's insurmountable and more than difficult to deal with. Sometimes we're so overwhelmed, we don't know which direction to go, so we don't do anything at all. My mom, I remember my mom teaching me how to cross the street when I was really young. And she stood on one side. And I can't tell you the courage that that takes as a parent. But I remember her standing on one side of the street, and she made me do it a couple of times. And there was one instance where there was a car coming. Oh, God, hold on. There was a car coming. Sorry. There was a car coming, and I wanted to run back. And she said, "Don't. Keep coming." And I was afraid that I was going to get hit. But she knew that if I went back, I was guaranteed to get hit because she knew that there was absolutely no way that I would have enough time to make it back. And if I just stood there and froze, I would definitely get hit also. As parents, sometimes it gets difficult because, like I said, you get overwhelmed. You do. But the urge sometimes to sit on our hands or to throw our hands up is huge. It's huge. And to be concerned that it won't do anything. This won't go the way that it needs to go. This will take up a lot of time. What if it's too much for all involved? We have to be mindful that when you're caring for other people, sometimes the best gift is that sacrifice of yourself in a way in which you go ahead and do what's against your what you feel like you can. Do it anyway. Do it anyway. Because there are going to be times when it is hard. But nothing makes it harder than no effort at all. A lot of times we are in the place that we are because we are afraid of ourselves. Sometimes it almost feels as if we're afraid to do better. Do we want that chaos? Do we want that commotion? But what does that mean for them? What does that mean for you? And there are times when we need the help. We have to be willing also to let go of things and people sometimes that are going to make it worse. And being honest with ourselves and saying, because I love them, I have to give us more space. Even if that means it's family members sometimes. Because even if they have the best interest, if they don't have the best ability, some situations are a try situation. I remember this girl once told me I went to a beauty school to get my hair done. And she told me she was going to try to cut my hair. And I said, no, we're not going to try. We're going to get somebody who's more experienced. And if there isn't anybody that's more experienced today, I won't be giving a haircut. And it was just a trim, but there are some things you can't glue back. You can glue something new, but you can't glue what was. When it comes to getting help, sometimes it's hard. Sometimes what we're afraid of is that with their children, they'll be taken away. Every parent's worst nightmare is someone will say they're either unfit, ill prepared, or this person or child, whoever you're caring for, needs more than you're qualified to give. But it's absolutely the best decision to accept sometimes that what is needed, allow someone else to give it. That's why in the medical field, there are so many different fields because some doctors have to accept that this is not their particular field of expertise. And that's the purpose of a referral. A referral is sending you to someone who is better qualified to make sure that the patient gets the kind of care that they need, what is best, what will help them thrive. As a mate, as a parent, as a caretaker, it must be hard. And I can only imagine for individuals whose mates start to have mental health issues, how difficult that must be. Particularly, excuse me, if you are raising children together. If you have the responsibility of caring for offspring together, and that mate sometimes starts to develop mental health issues. Maybe it's something that they've been dealing with for many years and it has gotten out of control. Or just like in puberty, when young people have mental health issues and some more start to present themselves, the same thing happens on occasion with as we become advanced in stages of life. Other things start to develop: dementia, bipolar becomes more severe, Alzheimer's comes into play, maybe other personality and develop mental health issues that maybe even have been undiagnosed, possibly all of their life. Many people wonder, what would one do if you found out your mate had a mental health issue and it wasn't a character flaw and they didn't not love you? They were just in need of help. What would you do? Would you decide? Could you, in good conscience, decide that you no longer wanted to be with that person? Is that the course of love? Would that be more for them or for you? And that's not a judgment call that anyone can make, but it certainly must be painful for those who've had to make those decisions or are dealing with that every day. Everyone is not capable of dealing with the same thing, but it's crucial that you get the help that you need and do it anyway. Do it anyway if you think that you're going to be judged by family. Do it anyway if it's going to affect your life in a way that is going to be more effort. Because even if you decide that you all can't stay together, that doesn't mean they're a bad person. Do it anyway. Help them get the help that they need. And if you're the one that needs to get help, even if the medications may make you feel differently, if it may make you feel judged, do it anyway because it's for you. It's not just for other people, it's for you. You deserve to be mentally balanced. You deserve not to feel confused, overwhelmed, have anxiety, be depressed. You deserve that. Do it anyway. If it feels like it's an uphill battle and every day seems hard, do it anyway. If you feel like family members may put pressure on you to not have your child in therapy, do it anyway. If you feel like it will make you a different person and you don't know how that change, what that will mean, it can only be an improvement. Even if you don't get the first therapist that understands, and you may have to go through a few of them, do it anyway. You deserve, and they deserve, to have mental soundness. Also, another thing that can help is something that I did not know exists: a nutritional psychiatrist. Y'all, I didn't know it was a thing. Like I said, there are so many fields within the medical community that can be of help in the mental health community. And so many people, we're afraid to ask questions. Do it anyway. Even if it means, and they ask if you have questions, to ask them because they aren't people all the time. They can't read your mind. Doctors can't. you can ask, is there any information that you feel might be useful to me in helping? Well, for a nutritional psychiatrist collaborated in this book, and it talks about eating to beat depression and anxiety. Chapter 4 and chapter 7 was everything. In chapter 4, it talked about optimizing your gut health for mental health. And a lot of people don't know that the things that you eat, just like food is a drug, food is medicine. For those who have allergies to things, people who are hypersensitive to everything down to dye, the way in which you eat, the kind of foods you eat, when you eat matters. People who have diabetes and other immune health issues know that food affects your body. Over time, if you get the right physicians, they will give you the information you need, direct you to the different books you need to um, look over, different websites and things of that nature, so that you get the information you need to know what you need to put into your body so that your body will perform the best way it can. And we forget that if you're hypoglycemic or diabetic, that it affects your body in that way. So why wouldn't it affect your mind? The chemicals in which we put in foods, people don't realize or think about that. It's important that we know. So chapter 4 talks about that, and chapter 7 talks about how to heal yourself through food. This book here, and it talks about eating to beat depression and anxiety, nourish your way to better mental health, and it says in 6 weeks. I have not tested it out. I'm in the process of reading this book, and I've tried some things. I haven't noticed major differences yet, but we're getting there, and we're going to see how it affects my family. I will give you a rundown of that later. I'm going to start keeping a journal. Um, and the book was written by Drew Ramsey, a medical doctor. So check this book out. I want you all to take the time to get this information. It's beneficial. It's beneficial. Um, Thank you all for joining me tonight. I hope this information was useful to you all. I hope we take the time to reach out anyway, to get the help we need and that they need. Don't let fear govern you and imprison you. Because in truth, most times most of the time, the people that are untreated for psychiatric issues, even those that are self-harming, we are still trying to handle these matters ourselves without letting the doctors know, without getting a psychiatrist or a therapist involved. When we are dealing with things ourselves, whether it's pointed out to others or if we recognize it ourselves. When we feel overwhelmed or having troubling thoughts regularly, get help. 988. Do it anyway. Do it anyway. You all have been wonderful. I hope this helps and reaches someone who this can benefit. Y'all have a wonderful night. Even if you're not receiving the kindness that you feel that you should, be kind anyway, because it's a choice. Love you guys. Good night. Mm.